Hey folks, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink, and today I'm going to talk about the bottleneck basics. So first, what's a bottleneck? This one here. You stick it on your pinky, here. It's made out of glass, some out of metal, some you can do it yourself. Originally, it was taken from beer bottles, where you just cut off the head, and that's why it's called bottleneck. But this is manufactured especially for playing, but originally were beer bottles. So put it in your pinky, then hold it here like this. Now comes the main trick. You don't press when you put them on the strings, you just lie the bottleneck on the strings as soft as possible. So if you press, you lose your intonation. So this is the first main trick you need to know. Don't press too hard. Second thing is your orientation is above the frets. So when you move, like let's say we want to play this power chord in the 5th fret here, you have to go and more or less you work around the fret. And the rest is you have to work it out with your ears, like get a feeling how much it takes that you're on a nice intonation. But just that is somehow a guiding line how far you can go. So, see. So, the next is when you want to play it as I do now with distorted guitar. Yeah, I would set the distortion level on 5 or 7 maybe, not too hard. I mean, some you can put it on maximum, but for this specific, not too much distortion. See, and then some reverb, and that's it. Now, the main trick with bottleneck is you can play any note. I would really suggest finger picking, because if you work it out with the pick, it doesn't really work. So, if we want to play something in A minor, pentatonic here. So we play something like this. This would be a little lick we would play with our bottleneck in the 7th, 5th fret. Now we want to play with bottleneck. So each time you play the note, you come from below. That's what this playing thing is also called slide guitar. You're sliding from below probably 2 frets. So if you play here 7, 5, you come here from 5 to 7. See? Then you can play anything. So let's play something like this. Here 5, 5, 7, 5, 7. So this is the way you always slide from below, so you can play anything you like, as you already know, but always slide from below, and remember, don't press too hard. Now comes the next, the very typical vibrato of bottleneck. So that one takes a little bit of practice. You need some distortion, like. And you need to check out which string work better for that. Like here on the low D string, and since my strings are pretty flat on, flat down, it's not really the typical sliding guitar, but it still works. See, and now you stay on the point and just give sustain by making this movement of the slide. Like on the G string would work better. Or not. See now. And you cannot avoid all noises, but that's cool. Okay, so this is the main technique. Now when we come to typical slide guitar, blues slide guitar, you work with chords. And one thing is still with the normal tune guitar, anything which is on the same fret as a double stop or more works with the slide or with the bottleneck. As an example, A major chord, see, or up here in the 14th, so, or below. See, that works pretty well. And the main thing, don't press hard and keep it going. See, very cool. And this way you can work out the chords like as blues, A, then comes D, and E. So this would be something like this. And in this case I was using the open strings as a bass, so the open A string for the A, open D string for the D. In this case I cannot play the full chord because we have the open D, I just play here in the 7th, the G and B string, and the E, open E string. Now if you want to play kind of orchestral stuff, you probably work pretty well with opens, like with the A. So now we play something like this, just the A chord, A major, 5th, 6th, 7th chord, so. So I played this here, see? So open A string, or play by below. And this gives this special bluesy bottleneck thing here, see? See, works pretty well. So here 5th, 2, 2, or 5, 6, 7. See? And then D. Now when we play the D, we do the same method again. Now this is the D here, 12, 11, 10, or 10, 7, 7, open D string. And E, same thing, move up 2 frets. And now with the distortion, if you have a hard vibrato, then you get this typical bluesy sound from the distortion and from the bottleneck. Good. If you want to play kind of rhythm, we still work with the same chords. Then you need to play the chord both at the same time, like the D and the G string. And now, with that bottleneck, it would be pretty easy. Works with finger picking, but now each time you need to move your bottleneck. Very cool. On the D now. In this case you need to improvise, of course, because we cannot play it like this. So we go in the 10th again, 7, 7, and E the same. And think about it, always slide from below and not from above. That's the main thing, because from above it sounds cheeky. I don't know, I don't like it, but I mean, if you like it, you can do it. Good, that was with normal tuning. You don't have a lot of possibilities with normal tuning because you don't have so much possibilities where you have one chord on one line. Here, one method to do that is tune the guitar like an open E string. That will be this chord here. E string, E chord. Then you tune it the way that the entire guitar sounds like this when you don't press. I don't like it that too much, I don't know why, but this is one method. Then you can really move up and down. And the other thing which I personally prefer is drop D. Drop D is very cool because now you have the low 3 strings or one power chord, and here now I can play something explain one thing additional. When you want to play like chords with more than 2 strings, then you make like first bass and then you attack the 2 high strings. See? See? First bass, then the upper part. It's very cool. Yeah, that's more or less the basics. Ah, one thing I forgot. These ones. Wait, I go back to normal tuning. That's like the signature move of Bottleneck in blues. Play the open bass and then enter the chord. This will be A5. So now first the lower string, slide it, and then add with the finger picking the upper string and then go into the vibrato. That's the signature move of blues bottle. See? And yeah. These were now all tricks you need to know to play a basic Bottleneck blues guitar. It is basically, it's very easy as long as you know already have your things a little bit together. The main thing which I found out is the most tricky thing to find the right pressure of your bottleneck on the strings. As I said, the trick is avoid any pressure, just lay it on the strings with no effort. Then you get the best sound out of it. And the nicest sustain. And of course it helps a little bit if your strings are not like on this guitar here, like flat down on the neck. Yeah. Yeah, so these were the basics of bottleneck guitar or slide guitar in blues, but it works in rock as well, same thing, or anything. The technique is all the same, but it's of course mostly played in blues. So, me and Dr. Pink are signing off.